Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, and today we're going to take a look at this neat border or string tangle called Mogolo from CZT Claudia Caro. Um, and thank you, Rosita, for you had asked about this one a long time ago, and I kept looking at it and kept looking at it and kept putting it off and kept putting it off. I'm like, oh, it looks hard. You know what? It's not so hard. Love it when that happens. All right. And because it's a string tangle, although you know what? I could, no, I'm going to best start down here. All right. So it starts with a diamond. Sure, it does. Yeah. Sometimes I have trouble with, well, let's see. Because we're filling it in, we can make it nicer. All right, then, and I'm going to have these lines just, go all the way to the end here. It's a little crooked, but it's all right. Because it's Zentangle, and it doesn't matter. All right, so the second step, the first step is to put a diamond. Then, working down, I put the line from that center point down to where I wanted it. And then I'm going to come up, I'm going to leave a little space and essentially aura this line and the side of the diamond and stop, as close to even as possible. Going to do it on the other side. Attempting to leave, well, close to the same amount of space there. All right. Then this stroke makes me think of poke leaf, at least the way I do poke leaf. And so we're going to come, and you can come down as far as you want here. And it's really kind of like an S shape. This one will be the right way, but we're drawing it upside down. So I'm going to come out and around and then up like this. And then same on the other side. Then from the diamond, and we're going to use the hollow. It's not necessarily the technique. Well, I guess it kind of is. We're going to think hollow, and the edge of this diamond. If you were to draw, a line kind of going straight, so imagine where it would end up, and we're going to start there and come up and around. This way you could touch the top, and I ended up just, even though those were uneven, I didn't care. I just touched the top of them. If you want to have this to be a nice, rounded, you can always add to those lines. And then I'm going to continue it and have it end as if it was lined up with this side of the diamond. Okay. We're going to do the same thing again with that outer side. So that this line that we drew here and here, same idea. Think hollow. Draw up and around, and then if you come down slowly, that kind of helps because then you can move your pen just a little bit to get it to sort of line up. Okay. Then, almost like what we did down here, we're going to take that top point of the diamond, draw a straight line up, and then also continue it on. And then continue these other lines on. Thinking hollow, so that way, we're going underneath this right here. Now, here's where, well, no, and then, to continue on, you could do two things. If you like the length that you have here, you can just start the diamond right from that. Well, most days I can't draw a diamond seeming to save my life. It's kind of like stick figures. I can't draw a stick figure either. Well, I probably could now that I have Zentangle confidence. All right. Then just take these ends and turn them out. like so. And then you just continue on. That was one of the things that I was like, well, okay, well, they showed us how to draw one, and all right, how do we continue? And that's how you would continue. It's just, and you could bring that, like I said, that line up a little further if you wanted to, and then do the diamond and continue those lines out. Let's see if I can make this a little bit. Well, it's just gonna, it has a mind of its own, and that's okay. The pen wants to do what the pen wants to do, and it's all good. Some of this is me, and you can see the end of the pen, not wanting to move the tile too much, so because I want to make sure that you can see. Okay, then, and here, this is what's fun, is just going with it. And so I'm going to curve that there. And then if you wanted to curve it a different way, well, this line that we're going to add, well, we can do whatever we want with it. And so we can shape it and guide it to whatever direction we want. All right, let's see. Focus a little better on that diamond shape. And what's interesting is on Claudia's step out, she made these tops just a little bit thicker. So mine are really narrow just because that's how they ended up. So don't worry about however it seemingly ends up for you. And then I did not explain the why here. So starting this double curve line, starting with the edge coming out of the diamond is important, or it's just helpful because that way you can take it, you can have it touch those. Because when I had started doing it, I'm like, oh, and I just started on the outside because it seemed logical. I was like, oh, well, no, it's running right off the page there. No, because it's helpful to be able to just have that hit the top there, and then the other one can just be like an aura. It just seems to work a lot nicer. All right, and then let's continue this up here, and we'll just take this like right off the page. You can have just as much fun as you want with it. Now, an option, and I'm going to do it because I think it needs it, is I'm going to fill in these little gaps here. You don't have to. If you look at Claudia's samples in her step out, she fills this in. But in some of the samples, she doesn't. So that is a completely up to you thing. I kind of like it. It adds extra contrast, and if I needed to do some course correction, then I could. This I can't because I need it to be, I want this part thicker, and course correcting doesn't work for that. It would only work the other direction. Alright. Then we'll show you some shading. This is one where I was like, where I'm thinking, I don't know if I really care for this. As I'm doing it, it's like, oh, this looks horrible. This looks horrible. And then the magic of shading. So we're going to just put a little bit of graphite on those little curves. I could just do one side at a time. And let's just bring it out a tad. And actually, I kind of like this little section is small, but I kind of like having the shading going along that line. Some of them I left out. That alone looks super cool. And then we're going to do the kind of the under over. So just adding some graphite to both sides. Oh, let's do some entering and exiting the tile just for fun. And just bringing that down, you bring it down just as far as you want to. Oops, didn't put any right here. But adding the shading is so, to me, it's magical. I know I mention it every time we do shading because it is, and it's one of these things where it's like, well, I might not have liked the pattern as I was doing it, but when you add the shading, it seems to, it just adds so much to it. And I'm just realizing we need to add some here. I'm using what's left on my tortillon, and we'll see how far that stretches. Because these tuck underneath also. And it's just an interesting kind of weavy, oh, that helps. Weavy pattern, or Celtic knottish type pattern, where you I don't know, it's just really, really neat. I'm at a loss for words. And I'm thinking, because I'm still kind of so I'm going to add an aura to the outside. And see, it's helping already. At least I think so. And that's what matters. But it's just really, really neat. If ever you get done, you do the shading, you've done some whatever course correcting that might fit, add that aura on the outside, because it does seem to, I don't know, it brings it all together. Then you can even do like this. We'll just add some more graphite on the outside. Let's see. Uh-huh. Well, and when you do, thinking, well, if I did this with some other tangles, of course. But it is, I really like it now. I have to admit, that's part of why I kept putting it off was, I was like, oh, that looks like it's going to be difficult. And lining things up, yeah, it is a little bit. Going slow and making those nice deliberate strokes always helps. Oh, see, look at that. That looks neat. All right. Yeah, totally like it. All right. If you enjoyed this, and I hope you did, would love to have you click the like button. Also, feel free to share it, leave comments, all of that. If you liked it enough to see more, I would love to have you be a subscriber on the channel. I mentioned the description section for finding the step out links. Below that, also a link to my website, as well as our private Facebook group. So if you happen to be on Facebook and want to have fun with a bunch of crazy Tangle addicts, we would love to have you. We'd like to add you to our ranks. We have a lot of fun. On my website, you'll see where I do classes. I have a lot of them that are free. I do have some that are paid because I got to keep the lights on somehow. And would love to have you join for there, especially the free ones. I was just looking for this because I want to darken something up, but I didn't want to add any more graphite as I'm talking. So do check that out. Like I said, most of them are free. The Tangle Times are free. I have one also that's on a Tuesday, Tough Tangle Tuesday, and that also is free. And then like I said, I have a couple couple a month that are paid classes. We have a lot of fun, and just produce an amazing amount, just amazing work. It's so gorgeous. If you'd like to see some of that work, you can subscribe to my blog or look at some of the old blog posts and then subscribe to the blog. I should split out the replays or the recaps now that I know how to do that. Have them show separately. But yeah, take a look. Would love to have you join us. You can't have too many friends that tangle. That's just a fact of life. And we'd love to have you join us. All right, so with that, thanks so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.